The value of your love does not depend on how the person that you're giving it to reacts to it. So oftentimes after a relationship ends, we find ourselves feeling very empty and feeling lost and confused and just not knowing how to be on our own with ourselves. Something I've always said is that the biggest mistake that we make is that we build our homes in other people. We build our homes in the wrong places. A home is supposed to be the place, and it's not a physical place. It's that spiritual soul space where you feel like you belong without having to work hard to be loved and accepted for who you are, where you feel like you could be fully yourself. And I'm not saying in an arrogant or mean or rude kind of way. I mean, you as a human being show up as the most vulnerable and raw you, and you are accepted, not only accepted, but loved and cherished for being that person, and you feel connected to those around you. Now, what we tend to do is that we build that home inside of another person, right? You meet someone, it's fun and exciting at first because you have all these strong feelings towards them, and it's kind of like investing in a project or putting your money in a bank, hoping that it's going to grow. You know that you're putting it in a place where it's safe, and you just trust that it's going to grow with time, and you trust that it's going to be there whenever you go to find it. So you build a home inside of a person who you love. You give them all the love and kindness that you have. You give them your time, your energy, just your thoughts and your plans for the future. You put all of that stuff in that person. And anytime you need a reminder of why you're happy and grateful and content, you think of having that person in your life, and you just continue to pour all of yourself into them, because to you, they are part of you now. So what happens when that person walks away is that that home walks away with them. And everything that you've put in there walks away with them. So when you feel empty, it's because you've emptied yourself out of what you have. And it's a legitimate feeling. It's not something that's caused by your weakness. It's true. You've invested so much, but you've put it in the wrong place. You've put it in a place that's not you. The feeling of being lost also makes sense, because imagine you're coming home at the end of the day and that home isn't there. Of course you're going to feel lost. Where do you go? Again, it's not about the physical home. It's about that space that you've shared with that person, the feelings, the emotions. That's all gone. So where do you go? You're lost. So accept that you are actually lost, and accept that you have given so much of yourself and put it somewhere else. Once you accept that and don't judge yourself for it, that's when you can start the healing process. Because here is what happens. You're either going to tell yourself, I made a huge mistake investing all of my time and energy into this person, something must be wrong with me, and you'll sit there and blame yourself. Or you'll say, you know what? The fact that I had the ability to invest so much in a person and love them the way that I loved them, that's a beautiful thing, and that's what I'm going to cherish about myself. The value of your love does not depend on how the person that you're giving it to reacts to it. If you have this love inside of you and you've offered it to someone and they've rejected it, does that mean that something is wrong with this love? No. It just means that that person doesn't want it, or they're not ready for it, or they thought they were, but they're not ready anymore. But this love that stemmed from within you is what makes you beautiful. And if you are able to create it once and give it to someone, even though they may have taken it and not given it back, what that means is that you can create it again, and not only give it to someone else, but you can create it for yourself. So that's how you find yourself after losing yourself within someone else. Instead of building a home inside of another person, or instead of dwelling on that home that walked away, you start building a home within yourself, so that you are not dependent on someone to love you for you to actually love yourself. You build that home inside of you so that whenever you're going through a hard time and you need love, you come home to yourself. So the simplest way to put this in practical terms is, think of the person you love the most, or the person in the past that you've loved the most, and imagine yourself, this is that person, imagine yourself next to that person. Self-love means that you would not give yourself any less than what you would give this person. So if this person was going through a hard time, you would listen to them, understand them, give them time, give them the compassion that they need. You would be gentle with them. You would be telling them not to be hard on themselves. But I guarantee you, you do not do that for yourself. So you need to put yourself next to that person. Building a home within yourself means when you're going through a hard time, you are compassionate with yourself. You tell yourself, don't be hard on yourself. You give yourself the time that you need. You give yourself the kind of attention that you need, whatever makes you feel like you love yourself. That's how you find yourself. Once you build that home, you will never feel lost wherever you go, because it's dependent on you and where you are and what you choose to do with your own life. So I hope that helps.